Lost on the High Seas, a serialized gay romance taking place aboard the ocean liner the Majestic Star. Follow along as I bring everyone on an epic Southern Sea adventure with love, laughter, and possible destruction. Penned by Riley Mason, narrated by me, Brian Shepard. Episode 6. Wrong Place, Wrong Time. The storm seemed like it did not want to let go of the Star, which was still sailing ahead. However, with the amount of wind causing unfavorable conditions, it was no wonder no one on board was able to get any sleep. Passengers were still not able to go out onto the deck, now that most of the ship looked like something forgotten in the back of a freezer for the last year. Before Joey would take over the night watch on the bridge, he decided to check in with Chief Wilton in the engine room, just to make sure everything was running smoothly. The last thing they need is something to go wrong, and to be without engines. Currently, the engines were taking a beating, as it had not been smooth sailing. "Good morning, sir. I'll keep this brief as we have some maintenance that needs to be done. We have lost our communications satellite. The wind, along with ice, must have damaged it, and then it broke off. We have no way to send help," the chief said as he looked at Joey, which had Joey looking very concerned. "What about the emergency sat phone? We can always dig that out and give it a try." "We can't. It was taken off the ship and was supposed to be replaced with an updated one. Yet when the company went through the Coral incident, their focus shifted, and they forgot to replace it." "Well, this morning's off to a great start, as it's not looking good out. If Chance is singing 'Do You Want to Build a Snowman,' which I almost did so he would stop singing, along with the hopes he runs into Elsa so he can yell at her for the weather. So please, tell me something good." "Well, the weather, like you said, is causing havoc on the ship. The sea spray is causing the ship to be top-heavy. And even though the crew is out around the clock to remove as much as possible, it's no use. We need to be very careful." That right there is what Joey did not want to hear. The fear of ice is something totally different than having your ship capsize, let alone sink. If the Star were to capsize, there would be no survivors, as everyone is staying indoors. Everyone on board would be killed, if the dangers inside afterwards did not get to them. That scenario reminded him of one of his favorite movies, The Poseidon Adventure. Well, it beats dealing with fire, like in the Towering Inferno. The oldies. The stabilizers are currently working and keeping us slicing through the waves without issue. Those go, and then we start to panic. It's too late to turn the ship around, as all it will take is one nasty wave to just simply push us over, which I can't risk. We should be to our destination in a few hours. I do not plan on staying any longer than needed. We need to find a way to send a message to let them know what's happening." "Very good. I will have comms start working on a way to communicate. Everything else going okay? How is the power output now that most of the ship is being heated?" "We are okay. Nothing this ship can't handle." "I was told not to worry about the weather, as it was not supposed to be this cold. This storm has put a damper on things, yet the passengers seem to be enjoying themselves." "Captain, there you are," Ben said as he came through the hatch and into the room. Ben never cared for the engine room, as it was always noisy. Yet it was the noise of the engines purring at 18 knots, while also producing the electricity needed to power everything on board, especially those much-needed heaters. "Good morning, Ben. I was just going over things with Burton. Anything you would like to add?" just that Heather has reported a few cabins are backing up, causing a mess. Everything has been dealt with and cleaned up, for now. Deck crew reports we've lost most, if not all, our deck furniture, and what managed to stay is only because it's covered in 4 inches of ice and stuck to the decking. Too bad. Those were original to the ship. Is that it? Yes. Well, no. It seems there is a political battle going on in the dining room as we speak. The mayor and Miss Patel seem to be going at it, according to Miss Harper. I was wondering if maybe you could come up to the dining room with me. Burton just rolled his eyes. I'm glad I'm down here and not up there. Good luck, he said as he began to walk back to his office. All right, off we go, Joey said as he and Ben started to make their way to the dining room. Plenty of time to catch up as they had to cut through the boiler room, dry storage, and then reach the main staircase. So, any word from Captain Jericho? Chance tells me you two have seemed to hit it off. Now that there's no service out here, my phone is not working. So sadly, no, I have not heard anything. I keep checking just to make sure. So far, nothing. We are trying to work on a way to send a message out. Seems someone forgot to put the sat phone back. And now we're fresh out. Joey continued to talk with Ben about the situation as they walked up the grand staircase and was interrupted by the sound of yelling coming from inside the dining room. Both of you need to calm down and go your own ways. I will not have this type of behavior on this ship. We wouldn't have an issue if someone decided to stay home. You could be back in Stratton keeping the chair warm from when I take it. Sofia, again trying to have the upper hand and the last word. Enough, Miss Patel. This is a cruise ship, not your political stage. You will remove yourself, or I will place you under arrest for causing a disturbance. Joey cut in, as he was sick of hearing this woman's voice, and just being in the same room as her. How someone can be so mean after the help Brian gave her. Such a shame that such a person was breathing the same air as him. Everyone involved moved on to other parts of the ship and kept themselves busy. Shows and plays were able to be performed along with deck games as the weather was starting to slow. The wintry mix had stopped, and now it was just snowing. There was no more pitching and rolling, thank God, yet it was still very cold. Operations continued to run smoothly. Comms was still hard at work trying to figure out how to send a message. Lunch went well, and maybe because of the horrible yelling match from earlier, Ben noticed that Miss Patel was not at the table, busy discussing the wedding like everyone else that was due to happen tomorrow morning. Jack and Christopher went off to see a showing of today's show in the music room, while Eric and Justin made their way to the shops. Chance was left with Anita, as Joey continued to work and command the ship. Being that Justin fell in love with Eric, who happens to be a captain of a cruise ship, pretty much had given his advice to Chance when he and Joey started dating. Chance wondered how Justin was able to be away from Eric for so long. Even being on the ship was hard, as he would feel bad if Joey took time to say hello or check in on him. Chance always felt like he was taking time away from Joey's duties. Of course, Joey had to remind him that that was not the case. Chance could never be a bother. It just simply showed how much he really cared for Chance. However, with the weather and other factors threatening the ship, Joey was needed more than normal. Chance had no choice. The ship comes first, as he is not the only one on board. Oh dear, you look like someone kicked your dog. What has you so troubled, as you're normally as chatty as a morning bird? Anita asked as they walked the deck, watching the snow fall as the ship glided through the water. This trip has Joey on edge. We have no communications, no way to send out a message. This weather, according to Heather, has caused problems for the ship, to the point where we are becoming top-heavy and could capsize. I worry, Anita, not only for Joey, for everyone. I wouldn't worry too much. I've been a passenger on these boats for a long time, and I've sailed under Captain Webb on multiple occasions. I trust him, and I know you do as well. No worries, dear, she said as Chance noticed her eyes trail past his shoulder. Turning to see what she was looking at, he saw Miss Patel, or Fifi, that god-awful nickname, heading into the ship towards the crew access stairwell. I don't know about you, but I would love to see what that woman is up to. There's no reason why she should be using those stairs. You want to follow her? I don't know, Anita. That's like spying. Do you have anything better to do? She asked with her hands resting on her hips while pursing her lips. Yay! I've always wanted to be a detective, Chance responding with a little sarcastic tone. Just don't investigate Stratton, or your detective days might come to an end. Oh, remember that. Come on, or we'll lose her, Chance said as they made their way down the stairs. Sofia had already left the stairwell as Chance and Anita could see the door to Deck A was closing. Strange. This area is not a place for passengers. Cargo, machinery shop, along with the electrical room, dry and cold storage. What could she possibly be doing down here? Both peeking around the door frame, Chance and Anita watched as Sofia entered the electrical room. This, of course, had Chance and Anita baffled, so much so that it was time to alert Ben and the captain. Something was not right here. As Anita and Chance left and headed back up the main deck, Sofia was meeting up with her assistant, Doobie. Were you able to get the information I asked for? It was touch and go, but yes, he was able to send it to me before we lost internet. Good, very good. Brian will never see this coming. Maybe having a doctor for a boyfriend will come in handy. Yet I doubt he will be able to save him. Poor thing. Are you forgetting about what you agreed to? I'm afraid the agreement is changing. Smiling as she pulls a gun from her bag, pointing it at Doobie. Wow, you really are all those things people say about you. Too bad. I'm sure you're a nice lady underneath all the lies and two-faced deals you have done. And for what? So you can be mayor of a town that has maybe 500 people? You don't get it. As you're just as slow as the maid was. He has everything. I helped him through the years just to watch him take what should be mine. No, not this time. This information will be damning. So much so that he'll have to step down. Maybe not even show his face in town again. Poor Brian. He will lose everything. Sofia laughed, yet caught herself so as to not make too much noise. You are one nasty person who deserves nothing. So you're not going to pay me? Hey! If it wasn't for me, you'd still be working at that god-forsaken bank. I owe you nothing. Not good enough, Doobie responded by pulling out his own gun and shooting Sofia. Sofia then fell to the floor, and as she did, her gun went off, sending a bullet through the hull. Doobie had to make a quick escape, making sure to turn the light off as he exited. No use having anyone find her too soon. Sofia, left shot on the floor, started to move. Wanting to call for help, Sophia crawled her way across the room, reaching the wall only to steady herself as she clutched her right side. She reached up to turn the lights on so she could see in the dark room. As she flipped the switch, Sophia was jolted with electricity, as there was a short in the switch, causing her to quickly step back, tripping over a box, which sent her falling backwards into an electrical panel, causing sparks to fly. Well, mix that with the water she was standing in, she was fried as she came in contact with the panel. Poor Sophia. It would seem that her lies, backstabbing, and secrets ended. Yet at what cost? Water. Water was now entering the ship. They always say, a small leak is just the beginning. Hey everyone, Rylan here. Just a quick reminder that you can find more information about me and the stories I write by going to my Facebook at facebook.com/author.r.mason. From there, you can find updates, follow me on Instagram, talk to me, and more. Thank you for taking the time to listen and for the support. An R. Mason Media Production. Copyright 2022.